Do you genuinely believe that with ChatGPT and all these AI tools that work isn't going to change over the next 10 years? Probably not, right? Most world leaders are generally in agreement with this, at least, which is that AI will change work. With that said, the British Chamber of Commerce did a survey and 48% of businesses have no plans of implementing AI. If you look at consumer-facing businesses, and we're talking small and medium businesses, 58% of them don't have any plans of integrating AI. Clearly, a lot of businesses are like, what's the point? Why use AI? Clearly, this isn't going to impact my business. I've been running a software development company for the past 3 years. I help businesses use AI. I help businesses use technology. That's what I do. And to put it really short, basically AI is very much like the internet all over again. And what I mean by that is that AI is a new form of leverage. You might be familiar with Naval Ravikant's ideas of leverage. There are 4 types of leverage, which is capital, labor, code, and content. And I will explain each of these if you're not familiar with this, but essentially leverage lets you get more output for the same amount of input. The first form of leverage was labor, right? Basically, if I work by myself on my farm, that's one thing. If I have 5 workers who work for me, that's laborers essentially, I have more leverage on my time because I do 1 hour of planning and doing that, and then 5 people actually go and do the work for me. And so there's a form of leverage there. The next level of leverage is money, so capital. Basically, when a bunch of other people give me their money and their resources to command, my input is a small amount of money, which is my own, and then I get leverage through using other people's money as well. And then there was code. Code is the internet. Basically, code was this new digital era, and we basically started to do things on computers. And in computers, you can copy paste code and reproduce the same program. You can run it again on every machine without any marginal cost of replication. What does that mean? Basically, I can run an application here and I can run an application somewhere else. And to run that same application, the cost was 0. Once the code is written, once the code exists, the cost to run it again is basically 0. That is the magic of code, essentially, right? And that is why the internet became so big, is because it democratized access and meant that we could all kind of run things in one big global environment. And computers, the internet, all this, the digital revolution that happened in the 2000s, there's a new opportunity for that to happen again with AI. And the reason is because it is a new type of code leverage. You might have noticed that I haven't really spoken about content yet. Content is the type of leverage which is media, which is essentially when I write something, you can copy paste it, you can print the same book. There's no extra cost of printing that same information, right? You have the cost of printing the book or distributing the information, but the actual information can be reproduced many times over. The thing is, in media and content, it cannot actually do anything. So I can make this video, but if you don't take any action, there's nothing this video can do for you. The only thing that media can do is inform, and you need somebody to take action based on that information. Guess what can take action based on information? AI. And now you could also argue that code can take action based on information, but code can only take action based on information that is very specifically made for that code to use. You have to code applications because you have to tell it very specific instructions about how to act and how to do things. AI is creating a world in which we are able to give it information, media, for example, content, and it is able to act on that media, able to do things without fully exhaustive descriptions of what it should do, which is what you require in code, right? You need somebody to go and actually develop the application, all that, and you can have more creative output and things like that. Basically, there's a whole world of possibility. This idea of leverage, of the fact that it's the biggest form of leverage, is why I think it's really important for business owners to understand. So when you're wondering what is the opportunity of AI, that's the opportunity. It's a new form of leverage, and that's going to allow you to get ahead. And right now, it's a competitive advantage because there's so many people who are sleeping on it, or not sleeping on it, but honestly just don't know how to get started. And that goes back to that statistic I mentioned at the start of the video. 48% of businesses in the UK, 48% of SMEs, so that is small and medium-sized enterprises in the UK, have no plans to use AI. Now, this is not true necessarily for every country in the world, but in general, many small businesses either have no plans to use AI or don't make it a priority. What this means is that if you are able to use this new form of leverage faster than they can, you have a competitive advantage. It might as well be the easiest competitive advantage that you can get right now because it's just a matter of time. Right now, it's a matter of time before your competitors start adopting AI. So it's either you take the competitive advantage and run with it, in which you'll make more money than your competitors because you can move faster than them. You put a smaller amount of input and get more output than they do because you're using AI to crank that leverage. Or alternatively, you can stay behind and your competitors start using AI, and you're on the flip side. While they have the competitive edge, you're trying to catch up. Even being a business owner myself, I know how confusing it can be about like, where do you even start with AI? How do you make this thing a priority? Many times it's not something that's a pressing need, but guess what? If you don't do it, you get left behind. And if you do it now, you get to move faster than your competitor, and you don't necessarily need to scale with staff. That's the big advantage, right? You can do more with the same amount of staff, with the same resources. You can just do more of higher quality, of all those things. That's the opportunity. Is it absolutely urgent? Will your business die without it if you don't do it by tomorrow? No, but that's also why why there's so many people sleeping on it. Because there's so many people sleeping on it, that means also that you have a way bigger advantage if you do use it now rather than later. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. Maybe that helps some business owners understand a little bit more about the kind of the possibility that you have in front of you. Anyway, feel free to comment any questions.